Hello, hello. Testing this mic. Getting started tonight. Hello, stream. Let's switch this over. I should have Twitch on my phone, so nice. All right. So it's looking good. Yep, stream's looking good. So hello and welcome back to another week of streams where we will be continuing to work on this garage kit. We have been building this little figure Mero-chan for quite a few weeks now, but we're making good progress and I'm excited to see how much more we need to do. So kind of to recap, we have been using Tamiya Light Curing Putty to repair and fix all of the many holes that this figure has in it. It has a lot of issues with the cast, and so we've just been slowly but surely puttying our way through this kit. Here is all of the pieces that we have puttied. Oops, as her arm falls off. But yeah, so we've made a good chunk through this. We've done most of the big parts at this point. The only things left that are like big that we have to do are her head. One of the pieces which we finished last time as well, so we'll be working today on her main face and this back hair piece. And then just the small bag of detail parts. All of these have various holes in them, but it shouldn't be too much time because the pieces are much smaller. So there it goes again. So yeah, we've done a good chunk of amount on this. I don't want to waste too much time just talking about stuff that we've already covered, so let's just get right into it. Oh yeah, before I do start, I do have this new like set of streams, like music going. This is one that I found that supposedly can escape the Twitch like DMCA stuff or like the muting as well as the YouTube algorithm, so we'll see how it goes, but this music will be a little different than what we have been listening to pretty much the whole time I've been streaming. I've been trying to look into other like apps, and it seems like the one that people use the most is called Pretzel, but in order to set that up and you like it's free, but you have to have a bot that basically spams your entire stream, and so I'm not sure if I want to do that yet, but I also don't want to pay for the service because it's like $15 a month without the bot. So I'm not at that level yet where I think I can afford a $15 a month bot. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. But yeah, anyway, let's get started. These are the two pieces we're going to be working on. It's just her top head piece. You can see here we've got a lot of holes, hole city, lots and lots and lots of holes to fill in today. And then this piece is even worse. So lots and lots and lots of holes kind of all over the kit, but we'll get through it. This one I might even pull out the UV resin just because I want to fill that in. Let's see. Hi, Cannon. Do we have to start a fund? You might. If you want like nice music that doesn't have a bot, then yes. And yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, that's why I asked you how the cast was, because this is like my cast. You can see it's terrible. This one is just like completely popped on its own too. I didn't drill that out, so I'm not sure what's going on, but whatever. Yeah, I know. I know. All right, so let's just get started. I'm gonna work on the top of the head. I'll start here. She's got a couple of them on her cheeks here. And then she's got a whole ton on the head, so we're just gonna do as much as we can. This piece will also be bondoed later because I noticed a bunch of tiny ones that I want to spot. But for now, we'll get the cheeks going and see how it goes. So far, I've been listening to this music a little bit before I started, and it's not too bad, so I think it will be good. The question is, how much will I get muted? Okay. Oops. Yikes, I don't know what I'm doing here. There's a lot of like shuffling putty around. There we go. Okay, so let's get this one all situated and cured. the main event will be the back of that head today, I think. Kind of a lot going on that head. But yeah, I hope everybody is doing all right. Been very, very cold. I think I've been saying that the past couple of streams, but it's cold. Like, my hands are literally freezing right now. It is just so cold. Okay, there we go. And I actually need to pull out some of my sandpaper. I didn't really have any. I just cleaned up my desk a little bit and I put all my paper back, and so figures I need it right away. Let's see, I totally forgot about Mech9 and their paint conversion and paint color equivalent charts. I have no idea what you're talking about, Canon. I have probably seen that in passing, but do you have a link you can drop or an app or something? I have seen apps for color like equivalents, and New Type actually on their website. They have like a color dropper, eyedropper palette that you can move around in, and it'll show you all the similar colors that are like in that range if they're from, you know, Gaia Notes or Mr. Hobby or anything like that. And so, but one equivalence one sounds pretty nice. All right, just get started on these. Paint conversion and paint color equivalence. Okay, let's take a quick look at that after I sand down these 3 holes here. Kind of using a slightly softer grit this time, since these are on the cheek, or kind of along the jawline / cheek. And I really don't want to alter the sculpt. I don't even know where I got this sandpaper. I don't even remember having this. It was somehow got into my inventory. It feels like a 600 grit, so I don't know. Okay, let's do just a tiny bit more and then I'll take a look at those links. Ooh, this is a lovely upbeat song. All right, so as you can see, we're just slowly filling our way through. Those are now filled. So let's take a look at the links. Oh, interesting. I don't think I've ever really looked at this website before, which seems surprising, but it doesn't look familiar. Interesting. I like it though. Wow, that looks super convenient. It looks like it's really good for acrylics, but then they have some random Mr. Colors in there, since there's a lot of military. I'm surprised that Tamiya is not listed here, since they also have a lot of military colors. Yeah, this looks like a really great guide, especially for some of those differences between like the flat yellow and then comparing that to sun yellow. Like the difference there is really subtle, but you can see there's a little bit more orange, I think, in the sun yellow. Maybe that's just my monitor. They almost look equivalent. I'm gonna like click one and see. Interesting. Huh. Really cool. This is a great link. I'll have to pin this or like remember it, Canon, because I think in general that's a really nice reference. Oh, and I can confirm that some of these are actually pretty accurate. I'm looking at the light blue from Mr. Color, and I actually just sprayed that today, and that color is pretty much spot on. So I think that, yeah, these are definitely good guides. Oh wow, they've got a lot. Okay, so they do have the Tamiya. Interesting. Well, this will be handy. I was looking for some very, very specific color today, and so I will have to give those a deeper look. Thank you. Definitely was not in my bookmarks or anything like that, so. All right, let's keep going. before this becomes a paint stream. Although that would be fun too, but it's not the type of paint that you think I will be doing. It's just me shopping online. I do have to say though, if you're browsing colors like online, you really gotta watch out for your monitor and the color settings that you have your monitor on, because the color and brightness and everything that your monitor has will dramatically change how you're looking at colors on a screen. And if your monitor is old, like you may have some different colors compared to one that's like more vibrant, etc. So always good to check your colors, and if you have like paint references or anything, check them on multiple like screens if possible. Even my phone is like completely different. Samsung phones are like, they oversaturate their colors quite a bit, and if you don't have it on like a specific setting, it's super easy to blow out the colors and have them look like completely off. And so it's just something that kind of happens when you're using electronics to look at stuff. That's why I prefer going to stores instead. Yeah, I'm exactly the same way, Canon. I really, I prefer to shop in person for colors whenever possible, because that way you know exactly what you're getting. But, a lot of people don't have dedicated shops that carry, huge varieties of Mr. Color or all the Tamiya paints, etc. And especially with all of the logistics delays and everything that's going on now with shipping, it's really difficult to find the exact color you need sometimes. I've been struggling over here. There's a hobby shop that I like to go to, but they haven't gotten their usual stocks in like a long time, so online shopping it is. Actually, what happens instead is I just need to use what's in my stock already instead of buying more paints. So I've been trying to like work around and use what's in my kit stash and my paint stash already, because I like buying new paint as much as the next person, but I also have like so many paints that I've just purchased and I've never actually painted with them, but the colors are so nice. So all right, almost done. I'm puttying like this whole batch of holes here and hoping to get all of them knocked out at once. This head is like pretty rounded, and so we should just be able to sand kind of along it. Your TFO kits should come in tomorrow. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've been seeing people like in the OFC Discord who got their kits, so that's great. Seems like everything arrives pretty safely too, so that's always a good thing. That was a pretty nice turnaround too, that I think about it, because TFO wasn't too long ago, so it's not like you guys were waiting like 4 or 5 months or anything. Alright, almost done with this. Just let it cure a little bit more. Okay, let's see. Yep, that's pretty good. Alright, so let's start sanding this down. I'm gonna run this over with a 400 first and get as much of these spots sanded down as possible. And then we'll kind of smooth it out again with the 600 or whatever it is, the random paper that's down there. What did you buy again, Canon? I forgot. I think you posted it, some of the links before, but I'm interested to check it out. Any links? A lot. Okay, then what are like your top 3 ones that you were excited about? Got yourself 2 war criminals? Question mark. Gonna have to be more specific than that. There's a lot of those. Oh, Pecora. Okay. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I'm not super into Pecoras, so like I had no idea. I'm wondering when the inevitable like chibi, whatever those tiny Hololive mini models are. There's gonna be a lot of those floating around, I think. People making those because they're so easy to sculpt in ZBrush and stuff. I know that people already have the 3D models for them that you can print starting to come out, so it's just a matter of time. Okay, let's get some more of these sanded down. And technically we don't need to be like too worried here because her head is just going to be covered up, but it's still good practice, you know, to fill in all these holes and stuff. It's just something I do routinely. Same with like this, the shape of this head. It's not gonna matter too much if we oversand a little bit. Oops, let me move my putty. Let's see, yeah, they're 2D models. I mean, yes. I have seen those. They're like coming up over and over. They even show up in my YouTube algorithm now, and it's like, how? They see I like 3D models, and then they figure that's close enough. Okay, let's keep going. So far so good. A lot of these filled in. There looks like only one that I missed like part of it. Glad people are getting their TFO kits, so it's always fun to get new loot in the new year. Okay, sand a little bit more here with the 400. Okay, and yeah, okay. Now I'm just thinking about paint and how much I want to be shopping for new paint right now. I even moved my paints to this like more open display, so now I know exactly what I have all the time. So there's no excuses for, you know, what I'm buying. The YouTuber Akane Kongo finished an Anadi Ishtar. I think I saw that. I didn't see their YouTube video, but I saw their link to the YouTube video since I followed them. Okay, so they didn't post it yet. Like, I saw their finished one. I don't know if they made a video, but I do follow them. So it looked pretty nice. Yeah, it's always fun seeing Japanese modelers finish stuff. Hi Rebel Star, how are you doing tonight? Hopefully well. I always like watching, well, you know, I don't watch the YouTube videos too often, but it's always nice, you know, to have that option. And they just like speed through them so quick that it's a nice recap for people who aren't familiar with the hobby, but you know, want to see a kit made in progress and stuff. There's a video, but it's a different Ishtar. Okay, I think that's the one that I was thinking of. Their new one was quite recent, I remember. Let's see, I'm good, thank you. How's your week going? It's going quite well, thank you so much for asking. Feel like I've been kind of productive. I have a lot of school stuff I need to start preparing and some internships I need to be applying to by the end of this month, and so I spent a good chunk of my time yesterday, or yeah, the last 2 days, updating my resume, you know, getting things ready and getting that kind of grind going, so that's always fun. I hadn't updated it since I was accepted to school, so it's definitely been like about 6 months, so much needed. Boring adult stuff. Let's see, I watched that Erish Kugel video like 10 times. I'm hyped. That's cool, yeah. Well, and it's so great how they like post those, because then I really like how you can see the paints that they use, you know, and the methods that they use. So if you're building like a similar character, it's also great for that. Okay, let me check this hole. Yeah, there's one hole that oh, it just didn't fill in. There was like partial fill in. So let's get that one. And then I think after that, most of these are filled in. But yeah, besides the whole applying for things and updating my resume, thank you, Rebel Star. I just been playing a lot of Genshin Impact. Like, I honestly, like, I wake up and that's my daily, like, I do that, and then after that's done, like, I force myself to do adult things. So it's just, oh my god. Who has time for games? I just play Gotcha. Let's see. She used automotive primer on her because she's huge. Oh man, yeah, some of those kits are gigantic too. And it's really, you know, it only puts it in perspective if you put things next to other kits or like PVC, or you use a measuring tape, because a lot of times it's so hard to give people a sense of scale when you're building these things. And even though like in my final ones I say, you know, oh, it's, you know, 10 centimeters or whatever, like nobody knows what, you know, how big 10 centimeters actually is. But if you put it next to like an Android or something, it really, you know, drives in how big or small something is. So that's always funny. Did you guys see that there's a 1:1 scale? What's that? Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassing myself here. It's the Hololive girl, but it's the dog. Korone? Is it Korone? There's like a 1:1 bust of Korone that someone just posted on Twitter, like either today or yesterday. Yeah, Korone. And so they painted her, and it's literally like bigger than this guy's head, and she's huge. I'll have to find the link. Yeah, that's a big kit. So that's what I'm thinking of when you say she's huge. You don't see those 1:1 busts too often, just because they're so big and they're so much work. All right, let's fill in some more of these holes. We're just about done with that side, so. I wonder, was that one even sold, or was that someone's like private? I don't even know. Okay, got some like random putty and some hairs popping up here, so I'm actually gonna switch my toothpick. It's all getting stuck. But that's okay, we'll sand down like all of the hairs and stuff after, so. Just kind of moving the putty. Sometimes I smear it in with my finger. I think that now's a good time to start looking at Twitter though, because the new stuff about Wonder Festival is coming up. I'm starting to see a lot of 2022 tags pop up, so that should be interesting if and when that goes through. I think it's still in February, right? It's the plan, and I think it was in person, as far as I know. There's already like 2 things that I really, really want, but it's gonna be a nightmare trying to get. I feel like since COVID, times have changed for kits, and it's a lot harder to get what you want right after the festival these days. And given the fact that we haven't really had an actual festival in like 2 years, it's gonna be a madhouse. Thankfully, like these treasure festas and stuff allow people to buy their kits still, because otherwise I can't even imagine some of these artists would basically have 0 income, and then we wouldn't be able to have access to anything either. So I'm glad that people are still supporting them. Alright, let's get this head fill in. She's got this like fungus head with all of these spots all over her, these yellow dots. Hi monkey, how you doing? Did you end up going to MagFest? Buy all the kits, yes. If only. I'll never finish all the kits I have, I think, at the rate I go. And my kit stash was severely, like, hey, thanks, Curry. My kit stash was severely depleted after, like, it's, like, built, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's built up because I've been building all these commissions for people, so I haven't had a chance to attack my own storage. Let's see, I must not buy any more kits. Yeah, that's a big mood. How you doing, Jen? And then I see a comment from Mittens. How are you tonight? Where do you get your garage kits? That's a good question. So a lot of times these days I purchase my garage kits from Pixiv Booth. It's basically an online marketplace, I would say, for artists to post their finished, or not finished, they're like garage kits that you can buy, as well as multiple other things. They sell doujinshi, they sell, you know, acrylic keychains, all sorts of things. But there's a section on there for garage kits, and the reason I like buying from Pixiv Booth is because the majority of the kits that they sell on there are original characters, and because you don't need a license to sell an original character. That's part of the good thing about OCs. And so there are other characters on there. There's some more open licenses, and so you get stuff from Yostar properties. So like Ozerlane, Nitro Plus has some open stuff on there, so you get, you know, some, I don't know, what is it called? Dramatical Murder. Like, they have a bunch of different kits on there. And so I like that. I'm going on a tangent, but I like buying on Pixiv. I also purchase from a lot of secondhand websites, so like Mandarake. Let's see. Oh, sorry, Jen. Let me link it real quick, actually, so you guys have a chance to know what I'm talking about. While I'm obtaining this link. Yeah, mostly I go through secondhand sites if I can, so Yahoo Auctions, Mandarake, but I really don't order from those that much anymore. I'm usually buying from Pixiv. And then, you know, there's direct, like, festivals that are online, so basically Treasure Festa Online is a big one. Here is the link to Pixiv Booth. So this is just Booth in general, and then let me link you guys the garage kit tag as well, because there's a specific tag for garage kit. There we go. So here's the tag if you're looking for garage kits on there. And most of them have a limited pre-order window, and so if they say out of stock, that means for now they're out of stock. But the ones that are, like, in stock, you basically can use a proxy service to purchase them, or you can use a forwarding service. So either will work. I will also plug in my guide here. This is a guide that I wrote basically to help people learn how to proxy and forward garage kits. And so I list a couple of different ways to obtain them in here, as well as the most common ways to order them, which are through proxy or forwarding it directly. So proxying, basically a company will buy the kit or whatever it is for you, and so you allow the company to do all the paperwork, and they have the account on the website and all of that, and you pay them a small fee, and then the website will ship the kit to their warehouse. Whereas a forwarder, you basically need an account for everything, and you sign up with a forwarder, and they give you a Japanese address, which you use when you're, you know, creating accounts and using in checkout and all of that. And so it's really a matter, like, both of them will work, but some websites only work for certain things. And so, like, Yahoo Auctions, you need a proxy because you need a lot of stuff to sign up for an account on Yahoo Auctions to deal with that. And so forwarding is recommended for that, but like for Booth, I actually recommend proxy is recommended for Yahoo Auction. But stuff like Pixiv Booth, I recommend a forwarder because the checkout is much faster and you don't have to wait. So the big thing with a proxy is that they have to check to make sure they can even buy the item, and so you're not buying like R18 goods or certain, you know, illegal things, etc. They manually check all of that. And so it takes longer typically when you're using a proxy to obtain goods. So keep that in mind if you're shopping. I see from Rebel Star, Black Ship are very, very good as a forwarder, totally idiot proof. Yes, I also recommend Black Ship. I had never really used the forwarder until I signed up with them, and then I used them for a couple of Pixiv booth orders, and they were very good. Like, I had everything in place, I was able to buy my items, there were no issues in checkout, and I basically was able to obtain like some kits that sold out within a minute, so like literally a minute, by having all of that set up. So I really recommend it. I think that's pretty much my spiel on that. Again, yeah, most of my kits I get either directly from the artists these days or through secondhand, because there's always a couple of holy grails that I'm looking for that just haven't been sold anymore. Because they are so limited, most of the time you're buying these kits secondhand, so. And I didn't forget you, Monkey. I read your comment, but then I got on, you know, talking about this, but no, I didn't end up going to MagFest. Just like it was cold and dark and I didn't want to get COVID, so we just decided forget it. Yeah, unfortunately the con going has gotta wait a little bit longer, I think. Thank you, Rebel Star. Yeah, I tried to make it understandable and easy for people to kind of figure out, I think, because when I started getting into kits, I really had no idea how to proxy, I had no idea how to forward, and it really kind of set me back quite a bit in terms of like holy grails and stuff I was looking for, because I didn't even want to deal with like Yahoo auctions, and that's one of the main places to get stuff. And this was like back in the days where, you know, all these kits are coming out and no one really knew about it, and so you really had to be in the know to know how to proxy and do this type of stuff. And these days there's so many services available, there's so many like good guides already, but so I just decided to tailor this one to garage kits specifically, because I get a lot of questions about it, and there's always questions from people like, where do I purchase these, because, you know, they really do have this kind of rarity behind them, and people think that they're just like impossible to get, but kind of in reality stuff pops up all the time, so it's just a matter of knowing where to look, and then if you're hunting for something specific, to be vigilant and check multiple websites, because so many of these are cast in limited runs that, you know, you could be looking on Yahoo auctions, but in reality it could be sitting on like Rakuten or Surugaya for months and you would have no idea. So it's good to make the rounds every so often and check to make sure your holy grails aren't just sitting somewhere. And I do like urge people to check Mandarake often, although a lot of people are checking it now, and so it's a lot harder to get stuff because it seems as soon as it pops up it sells out. So I haven't made too many purchases on there recently, because whenever I go on there, everything's always sold out. So, except for the old vintage kits. And they do have a lot of very old vintage kits on there. So if you're looking for like older kits, Mandarake is a really good place to look. They tend to stock a lot of the, I guess, pre-2010s kits. Alright, almost done, I think. We've got this air bubble that I drilled out and we're filling in kind of right near her neck area here. This is some like poppin' funky music. Not against it. It's like I've been so used to the other one that it's like, what is what am I listening to? But it's fun. Hi, how are you? Black Foxari. Am I saying that right? Hope you are doing well tonight. We are just drilling holes and filling in bubbles. That's the goal. We've been doing this the past couple streams just because this kit's been so bad. Alright, so let me do one quick glance. I see one more chunk here I missed. I thought I already drilled this out, but I think it was just the little hole that was next to it. Let's get it drilled out a little more. Actually 2 holes here now. Wow, one just kind of popped, so okay. Okay, so I think just those 2. Let's see, I've been seeing Mag was really chill since there was like half attendance. There were a couple positive cases at a con from what you read. Oh, geez. Well, that not surprising. I mean, honestly, like that's just not surprising. But I'm glad to hear that people had a good time. I wish I was there for the music. I really did want to go and hear some cool stuff, but next time. I'm hoping and praying for PAX. That's my next one. We got tickets. I want to go. Want to have a good time. Hopefully the cases aren't that bad. And let's see. I said it right. You're doing good. YouTube recommended me one of my streams. Oh, wow. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and seeing me live time. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that my YouTube posts are getting some use and traction, because I figured like I might as well, if I have the VODs and stuff, I'll post them here, and then, you know, maybe someone finds me and comes like you, then you can ask questions and I'll answer them real time. So glad to have you. All right, let's see how this one goes. These should be okay now that I filled in. Do you build garage kits yourself, Black Fox? Or are you just interested in the hobby? We got a lot of first timers in here and people that come from a variety of backgrounds, like Gunpla and toys and, you know, Gundam. I think I already said Gundams. Western busts and miniatures. So we're welcoming of all types here. All hobby fans. Always lots to learn from other people. All right, I think we're good now. So what we started out with, we've now completely filled in. You can see her head is basically like Swiss cheese. There's a couple of spots that I may have over sanded a little bit. You can see it looks kind of like angular, but that's okay, because again, her head is gonna be completely covered like so. So really, you know, technically if you were feeling super lazy, you didn't even have to do that, but we like to go all the way here. And it makes for some nice photos when we're taking progress photos of the head and the eye painting and stuff. You don't want to like have a bunch of holes up top. It's just not cute. So, all right, I think we're ready to move on. So let's just set this piece over here and leave her. Well, not that you guys can see it, but I just have her like that. So last one we've got here in terms of big pieces is this hair piece, which is just full of holes. I posted this like as the bad image multiple times, but it really is like, this is pretty painful. These are a lot of very deep holes. That's the thing. And so these were just popped by themselves. And let me actually grab my UV curing resin after I read these comments. Let's see. Yeah, I'm interested. The closest thing you have to a garage care is the plastic models from the Attack Girl line. That's cool. Charaguman, that's definitely a garage kit technically. It's just colored resin, so you're good. Unfortunately, I can only seem to get recast in your current budget. Unfortunate. I understand it, but I can't really advocate for recasts, especially, you know, knowing their origins and the companies behind them. But we all got to start somewhere. You know, hopefully you're able to support some sculptors and buy some cheap originals sometime soon, because that's really the ultimate goal here, is we want to support artists. Of course, meanwhile, comment from Monkey. I'm kind of sort of considering Katsu, but only if they're gonna have the model expo again. Yeah, I haven't even thought about KatsuCon, honestly. I thought that was supposed to be in like the winter, early winter. Is that not a thing anymore? Hey, thank you so much for the follow. Betty Bake. I love it. I love that name. Hope you're having a good night, Betty. Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna, let's see. I brought out my UV gel resin, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it yet, so I'm just gonna leave it here. We're just gonna start puttying holes and see how it goes here with this light curing. But yeah, I don't know if they're even gonna do the model part, Monkey. It seemed like, wasn't that like one of the first few times they did it at that con so long ago? I think it will really depend on the people who wanna, I don't know, tune in and do it. Let's see, I gotta start heading out to work. Hope to catch you next time. No problem, Black Fox. Thank you so much again for stopping by. especially if you're right about to head to work. I really appreciate you just dropping in. So we'll see you on YouTube. I would love to go to a model expo again, though. I actually wanted to. I've been wanting to display some more of my stuff just in person, because it's like surreal having your work like next to other people's work, just like for scale, and like having it sit somewhere else besides my detolf. It's like, it's a really fun experience. Yeah, I would love to do that. Let's see, COTS always happens on the week of Valentine's Day. Is it happening this year? It's just been so long at this point, I didn't even realize that it was like possibly coming up. To be honest, I don't know if I'm even gonna go to that, even if it is happening. And let's see, do you enter your work into competitions? Just like yeah, so Monkey's right. I had no idea, because that was the first time I ever went to that convention. But apparently they've had it a couple years. And it's basically, there is a competition section where you can enter them, as well as just like a gallery. And the models basically just sit on a table, at least at this place, or this convention. But it's still like having your work next to other people's work is really fun. And I mainly wanted to go to represent garage kits, because there's still such a I'm trying to search for the right word here, underappreciated art. That must be the word I was looking for. Just like you don't see them in the wild basically ever, and so it's really fun to be able to, you know, talk to people about the hobby and tell them what a garage kit is, and, you know, go into it a little bit and show off your work. So far it's still happening. Oh boy. Yeah, I am kind of on the fence about anything until Omicron cases start going down, which I don't know if it will be anytime soon. I'm holding out for like the spring, so like April, but I don't know. February seems like it's far away, but it's gonna come up very quickly, I think. So we'll see. Might drop in if it ends up like being okay. Don't think I will participate this year, other than you know, walking around and doing the artist alley stuff, which I really want to do, because I want to go to artist alleys and cons and buy like lots of Genshin merch. I want to do that. You heard it, Curry. I really want to go browse Genshin merch. Can see it in the wild. Let's see, garage kits are still pretty niche compared to miniatures, butts, and historicals in the West. Yeah, it's not like Japan, where you can walk into Volks and people literally have a cabinet of their stuff that they've made. I wish we had that here. But no, you basically rarely ever see garage kits. I can probably count on my hand the number of times I've seen them, you know, pop up. And one time I really got super excited because I went to this is all pre-COVID, of course, but I went to this store that had like, I don't know, it's like a resale store, but they sold like resale figures, and you know, they've got a lot of Western action figures and all the Funko Pops in the world and all of that. But they had this little section for like anime action figures and stuff. And in one of they had a bag, like just a clear plastic bag, and it had a painted garage kit in it. And I was like, that's a garage kit. I know exactly what that is. It was a bone model. I have no idea if it was recast, if it was original. It had no paperwork or plastic bag or anything with it. But I was like, oh my God, that's like one of the few times I've ever seen it. And I don't know who dropped it off there, but that was really cool seeing that kind of in the wild. I didn't buy it just because it was like, I don't want it, but it was fun to see it. Let's see, my only fear for entering competitions is transporting the kits to the shows. Yeah, that was a big concern of mine when I went to exhibit my models, and I actually purchased this little box that, it's not like a gun box, like to carry your gun around, but it's a similar kind of style. It was a smaller box full of that kind of black foam that you can like tear the pieces out of. You would like use it to put in your camera and stuff. But I was able to move my models around in that, and it was a Pelican case, similar. It wasn't Pelican brand, but it was like a case like that, yeah. And with the foam you can like tear out and, you know, use whatever. And that was really durable and really sturdy, and it protected all of my kits. I took 3 of them with me. And so that was really nice. Granted, my kits are very small, so it wasn't like I needed a huge thing. But to me, that was like a worthy investment to be able to have something that strong and durable. And let's see, when you would go to cons a lot, you never had much money for the artist alley. Of course, now that you do have money, it's hard to go to cons. Yeah, that's a big mood, right? That's like when you're working, you have no free time. And when you're not working, you have all the time in the world, but no money. So you can't even like do your hobbies. Hate it. The paradox. It's the worst. Ugh, cons. I love and I hate them, but I do miss them despite my feelings. And let's see, a friend told me her friend had a table at MAG and went home when they heard someone tested positive. I think that's reasonable, especially considering, you know, how many people are attending these cons and walking through, and the fact that it's aerosolized and so it stays in the air. Like, it's not a great situation. Like, having that much exposure, you're really risking it. So it's to each individual just to decide if the exposure and the risk is worth it, I guess. For me, it just doesn't feel like something I would really want to deal with right now, especially, you know, as I enter school and all of that again. So let's see, I recently used that phone to package a custom painted gun paw for a friend for Christmas. It's really handy. Yeah, I really like the pull apart foam. I used to think it was so expensive, and then I went on Amazon and it turns out like it must either it got cheaper or there's a new supplier or something, because you can buy a lot of it and it's pretty accessible now. Or maybe I was looking at the wrong sites, I don't know, but monkey. Don't be monkey's prideful for me. But I'm not saying anything. Yeah, I did. I won the prize for that year's model with my little Alice kit that's probably cycling through my past builds. I brought that one with me. I brought little Rose, so this little chibi that's sitting on like a little monster in the past builds. I brought that one with me. And I think, did I bring another one? I don't remember. I might have brought another one. Oh, I brought my little mushroom girl. I don't see her right now in the past builds, but it was like a little original character mushroom girl that I brought with me. And it was fun. I just, you know, had them displayed and I took a bunch of photos of them because I was like, oh, they're in somewhere new. So it was cute. All right, this is a stubborn set of putty holes here. And I think I need some more 400 because I folded this over and over and it's small. And there we go. Had to focus for a sec. I think I just put a lot of putty down. I think there were more than one hole. Yeah, there was like a set of 3 holes here, so that's why. We're kind of flattening this area down, so I'm glad that I magnetized this head, because then we can kind of check to see if the fit is still good. Looks like so far so good. Kind of checking the angles of the head here. Okay. Blow some of that out. Pull my mask down. Should have it on actually. But we're not generating too much dust here either, but still. Okay, one more and then we'll start handling all of these ones here, so we're getting there. Trying to get this to focus properly. But yeah, conventions. Hopefully they're a thing soon again. Just fun walking around, if anything. And meeting people. That was the other main reason that I usually did it, was so I could meet up with friends all over the place. It's a common meeting point. All right, I had to pull out my X-Acto knife, but I'm just gonna kind of carve out some of that putty. Yeah, in all honesty, I've been a real hermit for a while. Just haven't gone out. I used to like to go out and get coffee all the time and stuff, but it's just, I don't know, COVID. Okay, there we go. So let's smooth down. Oops, that's not the right one. Okay. There we go. Should be good. I'm just looking. Let me hold this up to the light. I do see what might be one or two more holes, but that might be a Bondo situation. Yeah, we're still good here. So you can see the pieces still fit. Let's see. There we go. So the pieces still fit along here, so we're okay. Thanks to my coworker, I'm addicted to Starbucks Caramel Crunch. Oh man, I haven't had that one. Is it a latte or a frappe? Frappe. Oh, there's a hole here. Most of the time when I go to Starbucks, if I'm going to Starbucks, I just end up getting a cold brew. So I like the cold brew. And it's been a very long time since I've had a frappe. You have to go there with it in mind, like I'm gonna order a frappe. If you love caramel, then get it. I do enjoy caramel, so you may have given me a reason to go out tomorrow, Cannon, because I have a Starbucks gift card. Thanks to Curry, who gave me his Starbucks gift card. So might as well get a use and treat myself. And actually what I do is I associate it with something, because I'm like, if I'm gonna do that, I gotta do this. And so if I'm gonna get my Starbucks Caramel Crunch Frappe, then I am going to apply for my internships tomorrow. That's what's gonna happen. It's a treat yourself and a goal setting at the same time. All right, let's get this one that I missed set up. Oh, Curry was listening that time. Whoops, I gotta run. You heard nothing. All right. This one's kind of odd because it's on the side here, and so we're kind of sanding at a weird angle. And again, I don't want to change the layout of this kit. Just want to fill in this one tiny hole. All right, I think we're good now. Let's do a little more here. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's get started on these huge ones now. So these are the holes that we need to focus on. I'm actually going to take out my UV curing resin for this big hole, just because I think working on it in batches will kind of help. There's also a bunch of other holes here, which I popped, so they were already present, and all I did was just stick my drill bit or my pin vise bit in here, and it just, like, these opened up by themselves. So these have not been drilled out, they're just natural holes in the resin. So maybe I should just UV resin all of them, because they're deep, and so I want to make sure they get filled in. Let me grab my light here. There we go. And let's do that. That's what I've decided on. So I'm going to work on these in kind of bits because this is such a deep hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in a little bit at a time and then kind of light up each section. And that way it'll slowly build up the layer, rather than like dumping everything at once and just like having to hold the light there longer and possibly not having it cure properly. So it really shouldn't be an issue. This is still not such a, large amount that it wouldn't cure, but I like to work in layers when the hole is that large. So easy way to do it is just to take some of this out and pour here. It's basically just a clear liquid, so like that. So it looks like a glue, but it's not. It's just a clear liquid, but it will cure if you put the light on it, the UV light. And so let's turn this toothpick around, and I'm just kind of gonna pour or kind of push some of this in here over time. Try to get this focused. There we go. Okay. So it seems like a big glob, but what I kind of do is I just push at it and make sure it fills in everything. Sometimes it forms bubbles too, and so I try not to let it form bubbles, but it can be hard. I'm still kind of learning how to use this stuff. And I actually poured quite a bit in here. So I'm gonna take some out of the large hole and kind of move it into the other ones. And then that way we can do layer by layer. Bubbles and bubbles. Yeah, that's the case for this. It really is unfortunate, but that's just kind of what happens sometimes. This one's kind of unusual. I really expected this kit to be cast a little bit better. Been a while since I had a bubble this large on such a small piece comparatively. This is still a chibi kit, you know, so. Okay. And gonna kind of wipe. There's also some sort of black thing here. And I wanted, there we go. I wanted to remove that because if you don't remove any of the hairs or anything like that, they just get stuck in here. All right, I think that's good for now. So let's just do part one of this, and I'm gonna move this bit of resin, otherwise it will cure as well. So yeah, then you just, as soon as you fill it in, whoops, I'll put this down a little bit so maybe you guys can see it better. As soon as you put in the resin wherever you want it, just, you know, turn on your UV light. It can be a portable one, it can be a standing one, and just kind of let it sit here for, it says around 30 seconds, but I typically do it, you know, 45 to a minute. And then should be good. Similar to the light curing putty where it'll kind of look shiny, but then when it's dry, you can just wipe it and it will go matte. But I like this one because it does dry completely clear, and so it's really great for filling in clear resin. It's mostly what I try to use this for. I've had this too for a while, but I don't use it too often. I still go for the light curing putty just because it's easier for me to sand and see. A lot of times when I use this, I get it the hole filled in and then I sand it down and I prime, and then it was so clear I didn't realize that I missed a spot. So I usually have to like sand over it anyway when I'm doing it. Whereas like the light curing putty, I've had it sanded once and then it's filled in and I have no other issues. So it's just like a minor step of prep that is annoying, but for stuff like the clear resin, it's 100% fantastic. Because most other putties, you know, you're dealing with, they give you some sort of color to it. Do I buy most of my supplies online or local? Kind of a mix, but primarily online, I would say. So I get a lot of my paints, those are almost all online. My hobby store, local hobby stores have some paints, but I don't go there with the intention to like shop for something specific. I buy almost all of my putties online these days just because like they're handy and I import them. Oops, sorry. Stuff like razor blades and other little things, I usually buy those in person at an art store or otherwise. So I think it just really depends on what I'm trying to purchase. And I also buy a lot of random art stuff, like art supplies and things, and so if I see stuff I like in person for those, then I'll buy those in person too. Oh, and I like buying my Tamiya tape in person. I don't know why, but my hobby store always seems to have it, so if I need a backup on it, then I'll buy that. As well as tiny Q-tips. Tamiya sells these like precision Q-tips, like these. And these are the extra small kind. And so I like buying those at my hobby store when they have them, because it's just easier to buy them in person. I've had trouble finding the light curing putty online / local. Yeah, that's unfortunately not the first time I've heard that recently. I think that there's kind of just a shortage of that putty, or it's getting harder to find in general. The only place, so the last time I purchased this putty, I bought it from Seal Model. And I will link it in a moment, or Canon, if you're there, you know Seal Model's website, maybe you can link it. But that's kind of the go-to for a lot of people's bulk paint supplies and bulk other supplies, I guess. But the downside is that it basically, there's one guy that runs that shop, and he takes forever to respond. And so if you place an order there, you may not get your stuff for like months. Just being honest. But the last time I bought the light curing putty, I bought it from Seal Model. So I'll link it in just a sec. I just want to make sure that I can fill in this hole here, because this one over here is giving me a little trouble. Okay, I won't link it then, since it looks like you've been there before. Let's see, I was looking at it for some Gaia Notes. Yeah, that's actually where I buy most of my Gaia Notes paint. I do most of my restocks through, for Gaia Notes through Seal Model. It's like getting harder and harder to find anything these days, so. Okay, I'm gonna remove that hair and then do this and see. So after I fill in this batch, let's sand it down and see where we're going, and then I'll fill in more if necessary. It kind of sinks in once it cures too, so, or dries up. So we might need to do one more batch, but we're going for it. But yeah, I really like Seal Model. The downside is just the shipping time. He can do airmail, but it's only for really small orders, and so a lot of people just use it for bulk paint orders and then have it shipped through boat, and it takes like 4 to 5 months, 3 to 4 months maybe, sometimes more. But if you're ordering like a lot of paint, it's a very good way to get all of that paint to your doorstep in like a short 4 months time. But they also have so many colors that you can't buy anywhere else, so that's just kind of one of the big reasons why I like using it. But they've been sold out of a lot of stuff for quite a while. I think the supply shortages are hitting everybody everywhere, unfortunately. I've kind of been like limping along, trying not to use too much of my paint stock, which is convenient now that I'm back in school. I don't have to use as much of my paint stock, but for a while there I was going through a lot of paint compared to what I usually do, and that was starting to happen right around coronavirus when it came out, and so it was a sticky situation trying to get all this stuff. Let's do a little bit more. It's still a little bit sticky. But for small paint orders these days, I actually use New Type. I'm not sure where you are, Mittens, but in the US, like that's a pretty good site to check because they have a lot of paints available there. I know Volks is recommended. I don't shop too often at Volks. I feel like they're out of a lot of stuff all the time. Same with USA Gundam Store. That was like kind of a big one. But they all, like that store even more so, tends to be out of everything that I need when I need it. So New Type has been pretty good. Alright, so you can kind of see here the resin kind of yellowed, which is interesting. Never really noticed that before. But it's mostly cured at this point. And yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna start sanding it down and see what happens. New Pipe has been your main lately, currently waiting on an order from them. Oh, good, so that's good. Yeah, I really like them. I've ordered a couple times from them at this point. They've been pretty good to respond and ship stuff out in a good time. And I may make another order on there soon, depending on how my painting goes and what supplies I possibly need. So we shall see. Might need to shop for some nice greens there. There's no greens here that I feel like I want for this little Mero-chan. So I think I'm gonna paint her green like the picture up there. I was like turning around to look at it. And I have yellows and I have greens, so we could be mixing them, but sometimes it's just easier to use a bottle. And you get highly pigmented color from the bottle, so, you know, sometimes it's just nice to go straight for that nice high quality pigment. Let's see, their customer service is really good. They sent me like half a book last time and fixed it quickly. Oh, well, that I would hope so. If you only received half a book. But that's good. I'm glad. I think one of my orders, like, they were just like taking a really long time to ship it out, and so I was like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, have you shipped out my order yet? And they were really apologetic, and they shipped it out like right after that. So sometimes things happen, like any company, but they're really nice. And I also like how they ship you stickers, because I had like a giant new type sticker that I put on my laptop, and then I got a new laptop, so now it does not have it. They're fun. And they also sell a lot of models too, like Gundam models and stuff, so I don't know how their pricing compared to other places, but they do have them. Okay, so making good progress on this. As you can see, the UV curing stuff also sands down pretty easy. It's a little bit harder than the light curing putty, I would say, but still sandable with a 400 grit, so. Okay. I'm not sure if it's visible on camera. You can kind of see right here. Do you see that line? That's kind of what I'm talking about when I say that right here. When I'm not sure if I finished sanding everything, that's still actually the line from the resin. So we're not fully done sanding this yet. But it's stuff like that that's super easy to miss if you're not careful. And then you end up priming and it just looks like there's this blob on your kit, and that's why. It's because it's your resin you haven't fully sanded. Trying to also pay attention to whether or not I'm over sanding, but this area was so messed up that I don't think that was an issue. Let's see, I buy some Gunpla kits there too. If you don't find something in your local shop, it's usually priced a few dollars more, so it's not too bad. Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah, if the markup's like only a couple dollars, that's not too big of a deal, especially for a model kit, I think, if you're like lumping it in with a bunch of other stuff. It's always better to just buy everything together, I feel like, if you can. I don't like making lots of little orders, so a lot of times I just hold off until I need like a bunch of stuff. I do that with bases too. I try to order like my acrylic bases all at once. And magnets. I do that with magnets as well, which reminds me I keep needing to make a new magnet order because I'm getting dreadfully low on some of my sizes. Built maybe like 3 or 4 kits since my last purchase of magnets, so starting to need them again. All right, almost there. Still seeing that line. So the line is like here. Where do I get my bases from? I actually purchased them on eBay, so my acrylic bases. So I purchased my acrylic bases on eBay. Let me actually find it and I'll link it. I really like this shop on eBay because they do a variety of sizes and thicknesses, which is really nice. A lot of times you just get like 1/4 inches the size, and sometimes I don't want that, so let's see. Okay, here we go. So I purchased them from this website or eBay shop called Z Laser, and they are very helpful. I purchased a couple times at this point, a variety of, I've made like 3 or 4 orders and multiple bases per order, and all of the bases have been pretty nice. They have a few different options. They have lots of diameters available, lots of heights available, which is great. You can buy them in squares or in circles. The cut edge, so basically like if you have the circle, the edge, so the height and the width around it, it's a little bit rough, so you're not gonna get like a crystal clear finish or anything, but it's still a really nice cut, and I recommend them if you're just looking for something to mount your figure on. Haven't had a bad experience from them yet, so. Alright, I'm noticing a hole here. Oops, that I'm gonna drill. Yeah, no worries. I think they do actually have like options too if you're wanting like a really beautiful side finish, so they sand it down and do all that for you, but I think it costs like $3 per base or something, and so I was like, I don't really care. Maybe for the commission ones if they want it, but for me it's okay. They ship out really quickly too, which is another reason why I like them. Their customer service is great and they are very prompt, so can't complain. Other than that, you can try like, I've purchased wooden bases off of Etsy, so really like you're just looking for materials vendors, so people who sell acrylic, people who sell wood, and then they sell those pretty cheap. So I purchased some wooden planks and stuff off of Etsy, and they're usually only like 50 cents per base or $1 per base, and so that's pretty good, unless you can get it like locally. I haven't really found it much cheaper than that. Alright, there's some like, oh, it was resin, that's why. This one's gonna be annoying here. I'm not sure if that's a bubble or what, but it's like impacting the... Oh, okay. I think it was just a sculpting line that got obliterated because the casting was messed up because of the bubble. Might have to mess around with that when primer happens. But let me try to smooth this line out a little bit. Other than like acrylic plates or wooden bases, I really like shopping at thrift stores. Not that that's really a thing anymore. But I used to find a lot of really cool supplies and weird bases and coasters and stuff that I used for my kits. So you just kind of gotta get creative sometimes. I can only handle so many acrylic bases before I start to get bored. So I try to put like something random on them to make them seem a little bit better. I'm not really a base person though, so like I know some people really enjoy the process of building a base and making a diorama and all of that, but I like, once I get done with the kit, I'm like, oh boy, I'm done. That's it. I have no more motivation left for the base, and so I just like figure I have to go in with a plan or it doesn't happen at all. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, it's just so much work. It's well worth it, but it's also just work. So, all right, I'm filling in this other hole here. There's a little one that I found, and actually, no, we're good. Sorry, I thought I spotted another one, but I did not. So we're gonna fill that one in and then take a look at these resin holes and then continue along the head, because there were a few more bubbles that I drilled out along her hair strands. But this should conclude most of the big areas on this head. It was really the top of her head that had the most issues with the cast. So the rest are just kind of, I think there are only a couple more holes. And then after that, we're pretty much done with all the big pieces. So we're just gonna go through some of these small details, and that will be the conclusion of light curing putty. But we're not out of the woods yet. There's still more putty work that needs to be done, mainly on a case-by-case basis. If I see it as we look through it, I'll have to Bondo a few pieces, etc. But we're doing a lot of the work ahead of time here, and I think drilling out all these holes was really helpful. because I'm really not seeing too many areas that need special attention. It's mainly the hugely problematic ones like the skirt that we're gonna need to be extra careful about, because there's probably some pinholes I missed there. Alright, this looks pretty good. You can see we filled in both of the big sides now, so try to get that zoomed in. So there's a lot of holes that we filled in. Still looks very smooth here, so that's good. Yeah, I don't notice anything that stands out as being hugely different. And then she has this little hair piece that will also fit in. I think, is this the left one? Nope, it needs to be the right one. So she's got this hair piece here, and it is a magnet, so it just connects. But you can see that covers up some of the area as well, so that all helps. All right, push those aside. Don't want to lose those either though. All right, so let's wrap up the back of this head so we can finish up all these tiny pieces. I think we'll be able to get to maybe 1 or 2 of them tonight, assuming I can bust through these quick, but we'll see. That seems like that's never the case. Okay. Still, I'm excited. This will be, I think technically one of the first kits I finished this year. So, gotta make it a good one. Oops, sorry. It's like going off. Kind of want to build something really easy on here for our next one, because just over and over, I keep building these kits on stream that end up being full of holes and needing a lot of work. I just want to build chibi or something that takes like not a lot of time. Okay, holding these pieces up. Anyone got any good Fate Go chibi recommendations that I should be aware of? Not that I'm into that too much, but I've been wanting to paint a Fate Go girl for a while. I don't know why. I'm gonna get quoted on that too. I should not talk about that. Alright, let's see. Okay, I think these are good. So let's start the sanding. I'm really hoping that these songs don't show up as majority muted since we're taking a gamble here. Where be them Genshin Impact Garage Kit? That's what I'm asking, right? To be fair, I have seen a couple of them. I'm not talking about 3D models because lots and lots of people are sculpting those. There are a couple of Genshin Impact Garage Kits that are coming out, but they're almost all of Ganyu, which I'm not gonna get into my preferences here. That's some spicy talk. But yeah, Ganyu is like the only one I've seen that people have made. There's also a Hu Tao here and there, but not really available commercially, like for people to buy. But the Ganyus, like, they're popping up on Booth. I don't know what it is about Booth and Ganyu, but I've seen at least 2 or 3 of them. So do that. Do with that what you will, or however you say that. Hopefully there's more. I'm hoping there's a lot more that pop up for Wonder Festival, but I'm also not sure. And also, like, if they're on Booth, that implies that MiHoYo is allowing them on Booth, which means more people should be sculpting them. But I'm trying to think of, I guess, besides Genshin and Honkai, what does MiHoYo own? I don't remember if I've been seeing Honkai kits on Booth. I've seen a lot of Ozerlane. I've seen Arc Knights pop up sometimes. I'll have to go through my mail order list and see. But that's an interesting thing to consider, is if Genshin is a little bit more open license than other things. Really, I'm just waiting on more Nendoroid prototypes and stuff. Hopefully that all pops up on this next Winter Festival. You can't escape this game, so why is there not more figurine merch of it? Doesn't make any sense. Alright, let's continue. These look filled in to me. Actually, this one maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Nope, there was a tiny spot I missed here, and then as a result of that, I gotta draw out the whole thing again. So let's fill this in one more time. Where'd it go? There we go. Kind of push it in this time. Okay, there we go. I hope they end up making more scale models though of the characters, because those have been fun to view and collect. Although the only one I own is Klee technically, so. Do I have many Nendoroids? Not really, if I'm being honest. Like most people, I started out collecting them, and then I sold off a whole bunch of them quite a few years ago. And these days I only purchase a Nendoroid if it's a character I really, really like. One of the things about Good Smile is that they tend to go like hype mode, and so they only produce Nendos of like currently what's in each season, you know? Like, what's the most popular anime? Guess we're making Nendos of that, you know? And so I don't really follow current anime trends, so I miss out on a lot of Nendos. But I did purchase the Hamtaro Nendo that just came out, and that one is so cute. I haven't opened it yet, but it's super cute. I can actually bring it on stream if people want to look at it. Nendos are really easy to collect, and so that's what makes them appealing. They've gotten quite a bit more expensive, so I can't like say that's a huge factor and great thing about them. But it's fun being able to like have a bunch of chibi versions of your favorite characters sitting and staring at you. So, you know, I've got Hamtaro, I've got little Yotsuba from Yotsubato, I've got a couple of Fate Grand Order boys, got Shinku from Rose and Maiden, you know, just some random characters I like, so they're fun. But if you get one, just know that you'll probably almost definitely get addicted, and they multiply very easily, so you gotta be careful when you're ordering them, because it's easy to go overboard, especially with how expensive figure pricing is these days. You know, you look at like a $400 figure, and then you say, oh, I could buy like, you know, 8-9 Nendoroids with that or whatever, so it's just super easy to be like, oh yeah, you know, I could buy 6 Nendos for the price of 1 scale. It is super cute one of Korra, but it's always super expensive when it shows up. Yeah, I remember when that one came out. Wasn't she pretty limited when she came out too? And I know that that's one of the more expensive aftermarket Nendos, unfortunately. Some of them, you know, they go up really high in the aftermarket too, because they only get 1 or maybe 2 releases. And if they're super popular, then you're kind of out of luck. I wouldn't pay more than like a certain price for a Nendoroid, you know, because at the end of it, it is like a small chibi figure. You're almost always getting not too many accessories these days. If you don't grab a Nendo during pre-order, the price skyrockets super quick. Yeah, it really depends on like the Nendo's popularity and the show's popularity, and then how many times that Nendo is like already re-released, I think. Because some of them, they're really, really expensive, and other ones like bargain bin, like no problem. So, and there's a lot of cheap Nendoroids on the aftermarket still too. So, and there's also a lot of really expensive ones. So it, you know, it just depends on the character you're going for. $3,000 for Edition of Flame. Yeah. Oh God, Good Smile. Well, now Good Smile Company's big thing is the stupid pop-up parade. Which I do say stupid because it's basically their version of a prize figurine. You know, you're getting a kind of mini scale figure for $35, $40. And if that's, you know, up your alley and it's great, then it's fine, but just don't expect like scale quality for it. More often than not, I seem to see people just disappointed with their pop-up parades. Some characters, that's the only ones you get though, so it's worth it to get that merch. Yeah, I don't follow them close enough to realize when the new ones are coming out. Always late to the party. Yeah, I feel the same way. The only way that I like am in the know now is because there's like bots on Discord servers that I'm in that post which figures are coming out and like, oh, a pre-order, you know, and so that's the only reason that I know anything anymore. Because I don't, well, and I have Twitter, and so I follow, you know, a couple manufacturers or sculptors, and then they post their, you know, what they're sculpting. And so the good ones come up here and there. I have a box filled with prize figures from Toreba. Oh, that's nice. Winning prizes. Like literally your prize figures and your prizes. That's cool though. I don't use Toreba, but you know, I've heard some people have had really good success with it. So it's a fun and easy way to like get this type of stuff. I'm not really a prize figure collector either, so I don't tend to like get a lot of those. But they're a very nice way to get into this hobby without saying, oh, I'm gonna buy the latest thing, which costs $400. So, big sigh. All right. Oh, I think, wow, in all of my sanding, it looks like I missed a seam line. So there's a seam line right along here, which might be a little hard to see. But I'm gonna get that real quick. I don't know how I missed that. But as I've been like handling this kit, and probably unfortunately because my hands are a little dirty from some paint, it just kind of popped up and it's visible. So I'm gonna get that one. Got really addicted to it some years back. Majority got for free using their free ticket system and sniping machines. Yeah, that's the way to do it, honestly. Like, they give you out so many like free daily ones at some point, at least they did. That's a really cool way to use the system and take advantage of it. 30 to 40 figures. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, you weren't joking then, saying that you had a whole box full. Man. Price figures, I think, are like so hit and miss. Some of them, the colors and the modeling and everything on them has dramatically improved since when I started collecting. But sometimes the seam lines just aren't right, or the paint job's a little flat, and so obviously you're not looking for like crazy quality, but they're still just a little lower than what I like to have in my collection, so I don't bother with them too much. But man, those Miku ones are real cute. There's quite a few from I forgot, Taito? Yeah, the Taito Mikus that are so cute. Been tempted many times. Sneaky seam line. Yeah, no kidding. I don't know how I missed it. I've literally been looking at this kit for like hours and it just is literally right in front of me. I think there's also some holes there that I'm seeing that Bondo might fill in. Yeah. Maybe I'll just mark that area with Bondo right now. I think I will actually. Because that's like a very subtle line. We won't do anything with the Bondo. I'm just gonna place it down. Okay. This stuff's stinky. So this is Bondo Glazing and Spot Putty. It's basically just putty I use to spot small errors and fill in really, really micro holes. It's not really great for any large holes whatsoever, but it will fill in the really super tiny stuff. Not even sure it filled in these though. Let's see, some of them are crazy good and I don't know how they even make profit on them. Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of hit and miss, like which ones end up really nice, which ones lack the QA/QC. I wonder like who's making a profit on a lot of these things though, to be honest. Feels like a lot of figures these days just like don't sell because manufacturers are charging more and more for them. No one's buying. I'm sure like lots of people are buying, but it feels like compared to before, a lot of people aren't buying for a variety of reasons, you know. It's just so expensive now. Okay, I'm gonna leave this tiny bit of Bondo on here and just see what happens. I should probably be able to sand it, no problem. But that pretty much covers all of these big holes at this point. So like even this head is pretty much done in terms of the large holes, because we filled in everything that was mostly noticeable. So now we're gonna move on to the tiny pieces. Let me put her head in first so you can see. Oops, I do that and then there we go. There goes her arm. There we go. I'll leave her arms off, but yeah. She's looking real cute, looking a lot more filled out. Before she was just cheesy, Swiss cheesy. Oh, wait, is that one I missed right there? Looks like it. Guess I missed one right on the front. But yeah, she looks a lot less Swiss cheesy than before. This whole thing was completely filled. So let me get this one in the front and then we'll move on to the small ones. Let's see, most of the Miku ones you've gotten are pretty alright from what you've seen. Yeah, I like the Miku Taito ones. Like the paint job can be kind of and there's always seam lines and stuff, but the poses and like the cute pastel colors are what make a lot of those ones so appealing, I think. Really, they give her like a cute personality. She's not just standing there or something. She's usually got some cute flower dress or something going on, so I really like that aspect of it. Almost tempted to disassemble some and paint over them. Yeah, that's a good way to practice too. I know a lot of people that, you know, they want to just do PVC repairs or repaints and stuff. There's one that I actually had pre-ordered. I don't know if it was the Taito Miku or what, but it's like her sitting and she's a little demon. It's definitely a prize figure, but I purchased that one because I wanted to do some repaints and give her like metallic purple in her horns and stuff, because the final product did not come out, obviously, like you would expect the reference image to come out. But it's really cute, and I really like that version of Miku. It's a lot different than what I've seen. Let me see if I can pull it up after I putty this hole. Seemed like it would be a pretty easy repair too. I was just gonna apply a like mask off her horns and then paint some metallics inside the little crevices and stuff. Okay. Oh, maybe I did putty this one. It's kind of weird. It looks like maybe I used the UV resin for that, but that wouldn't make any sense. I don't remember using the UV resin for that hole. I don't know, maybe I did it in a fit of puttying. Alright, let me find that Miku real quick. Although, searching Miku is not going to be a smart thing to do. I don't want to log into my MSC either. I might as well, actually. Let's see. Alright. No, I don't want to remember my password. Oh yeah, that's a quick way to do it. Alright, so I pre-ordered this Miku. Looks like it wasn't, oh, it looks like it was a noodle stopper. Not a prize figure, but I guess it's similar. So I pre-ordered this one. And she's super cute. I really like how she's just spooky. She's different. And I want to paint her horns and maybe her tail or do something. Let's see. Oh, that's a cute Miku. Wow, 50 bucks though. I don't know if I'd pay that much for a prize. I like everything going on with it though. It's just cute. They always add like a little gradient, you know. She's just fun. Wow, the product photo someone had. It's like the box is all messed up. That sucks. Yeah, they're also really large, so that's the other thing. Like they're good space fillers and they're really fun. So the bases kind of suck though, because they're just like this giant white thing. So if you want to learn how to make new bases, that's a good thing to practice on. All right, So we've got a lot of little pieces here now, some of which are sticking together because magnets. So we're just gonna go ahead and start working on these small ones and get all of these filled in as much as possible. Most of them have some sort of tiny hole in them. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Like so, you can see that one here. Some of them had holes in them that I just popped, like that. So almost all of them have small hole issues like that. Oops. Also don't want to drop any of these. Yeah, here's another one. So, and you can see it even has like a crack right in the middle. That was just like a bubble that was there. I didn't even do anything. So unfortunately, it affected pretty much every piece. So, yeah, let's start with these little hair clip ones first and work on her hair, and then we'll kind of do the frills and all that, as well as the bird. Okay, so we'll work on left first. That's a super cute Miku. Which one? Both, actually. They're both pretty cute. I really like the demon one though. Just the little devil one, because she's so different. She's just like spicy. She's got an evil face. You don't see that a lot with Miku. Most of the time she's just smiling. Doesn't even really fit my collection at this point, but you know what? It just is what it is. Alright. More holes here. I'm gonna kind of try to, I don't know, I want to try to push some of this putty into these holes. The demon one. Here's yeah, I remember you do like the horns. Yeah, that one's, she's fun. I think she's out now too, so I don't know what sites usually sell her. I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store, but that's a US vendor, so it probably would not work for you, Rebel Star. And she actually hasn't even come out yet in the US because I don't know what's going on. Just logistics. They always get things later. But I was not really in a rush to get this figure at all, so I honestly don't care how long it takes. Most of the time I want my stuff right after release, but prize figure, whatever. Alright, have to hold this kind of delicately because I'm trying to get all the holes here. Okay, I think it was just those 4, so let's hold this up to the light. And the good thing is this should go a lot quicker because these pieces are so small, so should be able to knock out a couple of them. Which means next stream on Thursday, we will be probably almost done, if not done, with the light curing putty. And then we'll be able to continue our putty. So I'm gonna Bondo a couple areas. I think there was some minor sculpting stuff I wanted to maybe work on. So like some issues with the some extra sanding down. So we'll do kind of a wrap up on that. Not sure how long the Bondo will take. And then after that, we'll be going right into priming. So we'll have to switch our setup, and I will be working in my airbrush and airbrush booth. I will be priming and do all of that. And then we're back to sanding and yada yada yada. So it'll kind of be switching between my airbrush booth area as well as this desk. And going from there. Getting this figure done. Good times. Alright. I did anticipate finishing this figure sometime in February, so we'll see if we can meet that deadline. Takes around 3 months, honestly, 2 to 3 months. Seems like from these streams to finish one. And that seems about accurate. It usually takes me about 3 months to finish a garage kit if I'm working on it regularly like this one. If I'm working on it less regularly, then it can take me longer. Or if the pieces are complex, if the kit's complex, or if it needs a lot of work, it can take me longer as well. So that's why you guys don't see too many of my kits finished per year, because it takes me a few months for each kit. Especially because I don't build these as my job. It's not my full-time thing. trying to get some of this. Don't want to lose too much of this detail, but I think I need to carve into this a little bit. There we go. Yeah, just had to give it a little bit of a cut in the middle to make it look more like a wing or whatever this is supposed to be. I'm actually not sure. I think it's a wing. Oh, I might have missed a hole here too. I don't know how. Okay, fill in this other one just real quick because that'll make the sanding easier. Yeah, it's weird. I think this figure will be a relatively easy paint job too. There's really not too much masking needed on this other than some frills and like some minor area like the I don't know. Oops, sorry. Lace? It's not lace. I guess the border. I'll just call it the border if it will. Wow, what is happening? Oh, probably this. There we go. So yeah, this border. That's the type of thing that needs to be masked. This stuff, not too much. And there will be some good hand painting portions too. There's some details here that we'll need to do some enamels on. So actually, you know, not too bad. We'll be able to use a lot of our techniques here. The question is, am I gonna hand paint these eyes or am I gonna use the decals that come with the kit? Because Whoopie Pie's kits are unique in that they have really cute eye decals, and so that would be fun to be able to use decals finally. I feel like every time that I get a kit with decals, I don't get the opportunity to use them because my clients want me to paint the eyes, and most of the time I want to paint the eyes, so who knows what will happen. Usually eye decals, they don't look cute enough for me, but the Whoopie Pie ones are really cute, so might go with it. Let's see. Found a UK store that is selling the Demon Miku. It looks sketchy. Well, I don't know about that then. Is it Ning Game or any of those? Because if so, then I recommend you avoid. They've been in some trouble lately. To be fair, Big Bad Toy Store kind of looks sketchy too, but they're completely safe. I think it just depends on the store, honestly. Let me get some more sandpaper here. I've got my big tub. Oh, this one should work. Yeah, I think that will work. I don't think that's a 400. I may be mistaken. I mainly pre-order these days through just AmiAmi. I don't really order much at all, so I don't have enough to justify like the bulk shipping or like the 2,000 yen shipping that Good Smile does or any of that. I just want my one and done order. Okay. Almost done here with this piece. Fortunately not with the whole figure. Just kind of smoothing and sanding as we go here. This was kind of a bigger hole that had popped in this cast, so kind of trying to sharpen, but I don't know how that will end up. Looks just pointy here. I have a Power Nendoroid stuck in limbo that you got from Tokyo Otaku Mode. Oh, bummer. I didn't realize that one had come out already. Tom is like, oh man. I wanted to like Tom, but they really like went in with the whole you have to game the system thing and accumulate the points and shop often in order to make it worth anything. And I had a bad experience with them where basically like they had packaged a figure like really badly, and so it got really damaged in transit, and so I tried to file a complaint and they basically gave me like a 10% off coupon for something. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like I was subscribed to you, like I'm paying you every month or whatever it was, and then I get 10% off. It wasn't good enough for me, especially because I'd heard other people had had better experience, and so I was like, I'm done with this. So after that, I just had like one other pre-order, and I yeeted out of there. I was like, I'm done. All right, I basically just pulled out all the putty. It wasn't working for whatever reason in this hole, so I think I'm gonna try re-puttying it, and I just need to like force the putty in. This is actually quite a big bubble that popped up in this, unfortunately, so. But other people I know have had like great experiences with Tom, so I think that mine is just like I don't know. I just had a bad experience that kind of soured it to me. Plus the fact that they take so long to like, you know, because they're in the US. And so I prefer getting my stuff quicker than waiting like 3 to 5 months after release. And then waiting another like 2 months when it's on a boat or whatever. Super annoyed you signed up for their premium thing and still had to pay like $12 shipping. Yeah, exactly. It's like little things like that that really bugged me about their service. It just seemed like they were paying you, like you had to pay them to use their service to accumulate points to buy more from them. And it just, they used to have really good deals. Like they would offer really good coupons. They would have like points back, really generous points back promotions quite a few years ago. And it was worth using Tom then. And I know a lot of people used Tom back then. But then eventually they started cutting down on the coupons and they, you know, just did things differently. And so it's just not as fun or worth it to use anymore. Okay, I'm gonna pull out some more 800s. I miss the old Tom days when they had those very generous 50 times back points promotions or whatever. They used to have those and they were really nice. I knew people that got free figures out of that. That's probably why they got rid of it too. People were like, they did cite at one time, like part of the reason they got rid of it is because some people were, like the 1% of people were basically using it to a point where they were getting a lot of free stuff, and it was wild. I'm probably talking about it wrong, but at one point, like a lot of people were taking advantage of the Tom points in a way that was very good for their collecting. Then they remove all that and started doing all the less and less points, and it's just Okay. This looks much better. It feels a lot more solid now. I think the issue I was dealing with is that I just didn't put enough putty in there, and so it didn't feel like it was fully rounded out. Oops. That was you with Toribot. Yep. Does Toribot still do the free like polls and stuff? They've been around a long time at this point, in all honesty. Oh, yeah. So there are some limitations to the tickets now. Oh, that sucks. Well, it was good while it lasted, right? Time for bed. All right. Thank you so much, Rebel Star, for tuning in here. Hope you can make it to our Thursday stream. If not, it's been great having you. And I hope you have a good week. They do, but it only works for certain machines. Oh, interesting. I see. So they just like limit the certain prizes you can get. Now you get the reject prizes. I see how it is. The ones that no one wants to use the machine for. Alright, there are some sort of holes here, but I'm not really sure. Let me hold this piece up to the light. Looks like it could be an old seam line or something. I don't want to drill a hole in it, but let's see. I also am not really feeling a hole, so I'm gonna do some Bondo here too. I know we said Bondos later, but I just don't want to forget this. Specifically, it looks like an area that would fill in, but I'm not really sure. Kind of wet this a little bit, so. Okay, there we go. So I'll leave that there too. But I think that piece is done now, so let's move on to the other hairband piece. Where is it? Here, okay. I think this will be the last piece for tonight. Looks like it only has 2 holes, so that's not too bad. Oops, sorry. So there's a hole kind of here and then here. You can see both of them. And I might have missed one, but let's see. Nope. Oh wait. Nope. That looks like the major ones. Let's see. I do pay for their premium. It's like $3 a month and you get 10 bucks of credit. Hey, yeah, I mean that's kind of worth it. You're basically just like, you know, hoarding it until the holidays and then doing your gambling last minute. It's like hoarding your gems all year and then just using all your gems or whatever, your gotcha. Totally understandable. It's a good way to get all the urge out too. It's like as long as you don't become addicted to those types of sites, and it's good. It's just it's so easy to do like the what if, like the sunk cost thing, right? So like you're so close to getting it and then you've already spent like 30 bucks and then what's another 5, 10, 15, you know? That's how they get people. My like issue with those is the lag. I don't know how you're able to play those sites and not have like the delayed response, because whenever I used it, that was the main thing that I had. Because you always try it because they give you the free stuff and then you start it out and you see if it's good or not. And so I have played it on there, but I am not a continuing player. Okay. Almost. This should be okay. Basically, I have to fill in this whole section. I'm not sure how much of this little diamond is hollowed out, but I'm hoping it's not all of it. It looks like it's pretty sturdy now with this putty, so we'll see. Let's see. I've adjusted so much to the lag, you'd be terrible in person. Yeah, I mean, you get used to it at some point, right? And then you're just like, okay, once you know how to do it that certain way, it's hard to figure it out any other way. Though they're really fun to play in person. Because when I did go to Japan, I spent way too much money on UFO machines. Won a couple things, but nowhere near the amount that I put into them, because it's just so much fun. And they have machines for literally everything, like candy and snacks and toys and plushies and expensive things and figurines, and there's everything. And so it's very easy to just pop in 500 yen and be like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And you really have to know like the ways to hit the animals and the stuff in order to knock them down. They don't expect people to like be able to go in and do that right away, even though they have hints and stuff and people who will like arrange it for you. You know, you're still sinking in money into it. But I highly recommend them. They're a lot of fun. And if you have like round one or arcades here in the US, you can do the same thing basically and get really good and practice, and then go to Japan and you'll win everything. I'm not very good at them though. I used to be really, really great at crane games when I was a kid though. There was one time, I think the claw was just like, they had messed up the tension or something, and so it was really tight. And I won, I think it was over 10. I won over 10 toys with like $5, and I felt like I owned the universe. I was like 7 years old. I just kept winning toy after toy. I was like I couldn't believe it. I was like, I am the best crane master ever. That was a fun time. And I had never been that good since then. So it must have been the crane tension. Okay. Just about done with this hole here. And then we'll move on to the little diamond. That's kind of in the middle of her hairpin here. And then we'll be good for tonight. Okay, let's see. There we go. Just kind of gonna go at it at an angle this time, So rather than like go smoothly and keep a circular shape, I'm going at angles to try to preserve the diamond shape now. As we wind down, I do want to say I have really liked this music, so I will have to check out the VOD, and hopefully I'm not muted the whole time, and if not, then I think I will continue using this music next time, because it's been a variety of tracks and none of them have been like really, I don't know, distracting. There's none of those talking ones that are in so many of these lo-fi beats. That's like the one thing that always bugs me about those tracks. Okay. What else do we gotta do here? Okay. Just a little more. Trying to look up close to make sure I got everything. I think there's still a little bit of extra fleshy stuff here. Yep, okay. That's looking pretty good. Let me just smooth out these other sides real quick. I'm holding it really close. I hope that, yeah, it looks like the camera's picking it up, so. This is a pretty good angle for my site and you guys, because you don't have to see my face, but you can see up close. All right, I think that will about do it for tonight. There's some minor rounding we may revisit on Thursday, but I'm pretty happy with that, and it looks like, you know, these are all smoothed out now, and so next time we will focus on the small bits left and then move on to the next bits of puttying and kind of final sculpting details and other things, and that will be on Thursday. So we're gonna wrap up now. Oh, just on time too. I didn't even look at the time. But thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys can make it to the next stream, which will be on Thursday, the 13th of January. So this coming Thursday. Thank you again for sticking around so long, and I hope that I can catch you guys later. Have a safe rest of your week so far, a good hump day and all that, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.